Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Chronicle, where I go over my daily life and its overarching plot. I just wanted to give that quick little intro because I know it's technically like the official intro that I never ever use ever. Because usually what I do is say hello, everyone, welcome back to the Chronicle, and then I start talking about something immediately. Also, a quick note: if there's background audio, it's because my roommate Ink is watching a movie with her boyfriend. So hopefully that doesn't spill over into the actual recording. I feel like I have so much. Okay. Let me back up. There is a lot that I want to talk about. But I hope I don't just forget about it. Is the issue? Because I might be like, oh, I have so much stuff. Because that's what happened last week. I was like, I really thought last week's video would be longer, and then it was like 30, 40 minutes, which is good, right? It's good that I got that all down into, regular time. Especially because I think that was like I had work the next day, and I do have work the next day today as well. Um, Long, nice Christmas holiday, and then I took an extra day off next week, so I've got I think like another 4 day weekend lined up, which is pretty sweet. Hopefully that goes as well as this weekend did, which is pretty good. And as you can see, my room is done. I'm pretty sure it's like 100% complete. The only thing I can think of is, oh yeah, I guess there's my calendar. There's this thing. There's Boba Fett, who's just off camera. And then my hats. I don't know where to put my hats. I could pin them up on the wall again, like I did. And then also that thing, my jersey from work right here. I don't know what to do with that. I'm thinking maybe keep it in my locker and then put it on when it gets cold. Maybe because it's like it's another layer, but it's not a jacket because I don't like the long sleeve, so could be nice. And also my hair, guys, take a look at my hair. Does it look different than usual? So this is the left part, not technically the classic left part, because right now the left part is higher than it usually is. However, I'm looking at it on camera. I feel like it looks better on camera than it does in person, which I feel like happens kind of a lot with my hair. Maybe for me personally, I don't know. Like to the few of you who have seen me in person and on camera, does my hair look better on camera or in person? Because I feel like sometimes it looks better um, on camera, and then sometimes it just doesn't. So this hairstyle is probably closer, not perfect, but like I said, it's closer to a just a perfect one-to-one mirror flip of the right part, which everyone seems to love so much. But I've been thinking like now that my hair's getting longer. Also, it's not quite as long. Like it's not growing as fast as I thought it would be. Like see my flare here. Like I would have thought that it had. I feel like it should be affected by gravity at this point. But like if I just do something like this, it kind of just floats there. I mean, which is nice. I like how that looks. That's what I want. But it's like this is the left part, not the classic left part, but the left part, which I had thought like before, like earlier today. I was like, the left part is overgrown. I can't wear it anymore to look bad. I was like, well, let me just move the part higher, and then I think that's like, I think it's okay. Like I said, I feel like, well, actually, I haven't said that before. Remember how I talked about like I think my hairline has kind of like gotten pulled back a little bit right here. Like you see, it's like there is actually hair there. It's the light. It's kind of the light's making it invisible, but it looks like there's less hair there. And I think that's because for like 10 years I had the left part, which kind of might have just like pulled my hairline back a little bit. Because like check this out. Whoop. Nah, nah, nah. To me, this goes a little bit further back. Could just be me. Goodness gracious. Yeah, my room. I do want to show it to you. I think I'm gonna pick you up again. All right, brace yourself. You're seeing my room again. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so here, actually, hold on. Before I do that, sorry. Let's start with what you can see. My bed frame. This is the bed frame I wanted for like maybe over a year, but I'd not gotten because I was like, oh, maybe there's something better, and I just haven't found it yet. Nope, that was exactly what I wanted. This bed frame, I've got it now. It's got a headboard. Awesome. Um, I don't know what to do with this thing. Okay, the yellow cushion thing. I don't know what to do with it. Like I don't know where to put it. Like was it 2 rooms ago, right? 2 living spaces ago, it was in my closet, and I think that was I had 2 closets actually, and that was a fine place to put it because it's like I don't need this every day. Was it in my previous room? We always sat at the foot of my bed, which was fine, I guess. Just I don't like putting things on the floor, if they're not like because I feel like that shouldn't be on the floor, for sure. So it's just on my bed for now. And then also I've got like I'm not a Funko Pop collector, but these two are Funko Pops that my stepmom got me for Christmas, so that's pretty cool. Above that is the Helldiver, my little Helldiver. He's a U2's actually, because they don't make Funko Pops of Helldivers. And then on my bedstand you've got my glasses case right here, and then just you see that black bar right there, this kind of black case like right here. That is technically a watch case. It only has one watch in it, but the watch doesn't work because I got it when I was like 13 and the battery died. And then what else we got? We got there's Fahrenheit 451, which I plan on reading. Again, my stepmom got me that for Christmas. And then just behind that's my alarm clock. And then right there is my little, that's the only completed little flipbook notebook that I have of my smiley faces that I draw all the time. And then I believe that's everything on there, so that's pretty cool. And then I got my bed frame here. Got my shelf over there. So this was previously off camera. It was just off camera. Now it's on camera. I call it my childhood shelf, and now I feel like that's still kind of an apt name for it. Because it's like I said, it's stuff from my childhood. Like, look, you can see there's Legos up there. We got some stuffed animals here. We got some hats down here. You can see this is like graduation stuff I got like yeah, pretty much from graduation, like graduating high school, and then also track and field. And then up here you've got like was it those little like canvas? They were like tape paintings that I made when I was a kid. And then like up there, that's a drawing that my stepmom did for me like years ago whenever she first met me and my siblings. And then there's like Go-Go's up there, which I had when I was a kid. And then there's like a bunch of other little stuff you can't see. I'd love to talk about that. Actually, maybe I'll make a yap session for that. Just going into literally everything on the shelf because like pretty much everything on that shelf has even a little story behind it. Like take a look at this hat right here. All right, I wore this hat at a surfer girl's house for a New Year's Eve party. I think that would have been 2019, right? So 2019 to 2020, New Year's was when I got that hat. I wore that hat, and I was like, "This is so cool. Can I keep it?" She was like, "Sure." That's where that comes from. And then like there's like you can see right next to it, there's an automaton, which I don't use very often because they're harder than I thought they would be to use. So I never actually got into using that much. Anyway, I'm getting way off track. The goals are actually man, I still want to show you the rest of the room because then you'd see the goals. Okay, whatever. I'll pick you up. Brace yourself. Okay, so let's take a look over here. So there's actually Boba Fett right next to the camera, and my computer and my mouse. I don't know. I don't know if I wanna. I kind of want to move him because I feel like he kind of gets in the way. Like when I'm like doing all this, like I don't have a whole lot of space over here without like bumping into him. Um, and like my ring like there. So I don't know where else to put him though, because like I could put him like on. Oh my goodness, on right there on that little shelf with the guitar. Um, but like, cause that's where he was like briefly, and before I ended up knocking him over. So like, I guess I could put him there, but like, I don't know. I don't know where I'd put then the electric guitar. And then I'll take a look at this wall again. It's got my stuff on it. Note the Capricorn things. Okay, so I'll put you down for a moment. Ugh. Okay, so this leads to another thing I want to talk about. I got this keychain. So those Capricorn things you just saw, my mom got me as presents. I don't know if both were for Christmas or if one was for a different occasion. She got me a little keychain that says Capricorn on it. As if it wasn't obvious I'm a Capricorn. And I was like, do I put this on the wall with those, or do I put this on my keychain thingy? You could see the keychain thingy in the last room. You can't see it now because it's off camera. It's still there. It's right here. My carabiner of keychains, because I love keychains, but you know I don't want to carry them around on my keys because that would be annoying. So I'm like, do I put that on the keychain carabiner or next to the motherfucking Capricorn stuff? Because it would make sense on both, but I don't know which to do. And then also, for Christmas, my mom got me this little bitty harmonica. It works. Pretty cool. I'm thinking about putting this on my actual keys just because it's so fun. But I could put it on my keychain carabiner because that's where I put all my keychains, right? So yeah, there's a couple of keychains on my graduation shelf here, which I kind of want to put on the carabiner, but also, like I said, they make sense both because they're graduation, but I also have the keychain carabiner. I do have one other keychain. Whoops, that is not on the carabiner. It was on camera in the previous room. It was a little Kirby one that my older sister, got me for Christmas. Holy moly, I'm talking so much. So my room. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up one more time. We're gonna look at the rest of my room. Oh man, I forgot to talk about the LED sign. Okay, whatever. So we've got that stuff, and then we got this stuff behind me, which you can see. You can see into my closet there. You can see my piano. Ignore the wooden thing on the floor next to piano. I had plans for that, and then the plan kind of changed because my bed frame ended up being awful. So you can see into my closet there, and then you can see I got a poster. You can see Mr. Bean on the back of the door there. And if I keep going, I'm gonna pick you up way further. So you can see Mr. Bean on the door there. And then you can see my Terry posters, my AJR poster, calendar. I don't know if I want to put the calendar there because it's in a spot where I would put another poster. I don't know. You can see Zotac on top of the computer. I don't have anything there yet. And then there's like that little shelf right here with the electric guitar on it. That was my bed stand, kind of like thing. And then now it's over here. And then this little shelf has like office supplies on it, and then my controller, and then or my desk with like candy. And then I think that's about everything. A little bit of underbed storage. The underbed storage is not as tall as I thought it would be, but it works just fine. You can see like my like backpacks and stuff. And I think that's everything. I got my closet all sorted out. It's pretty cramped in my closet, if I'm being quite honest. I think like my last few like living situations, they've just all gotten like smaller and smaller, which like kind of sucks. And the thing is like, some people were talking to me, and they were like, "Asher, why'd you go with the smaller bedroom?" And I was like, "Well, Ink said she had more stuff, so I let her have the bigger room." Um, and then when we were moving, her boyfriend was like, "Bro, this is terrible. You've got like 3 times as much stuff as she does." And I was like, "I don't know, man." So yeah, no, I've got what is probably the smallest room I've ever lived in. Smaller closet, smaller space, smaller. I don't know. But it's fine. I don't mind. I've kind of been used to being crammed into a small space my whole life. Because I shared a room with my brothers as a kid, and then after that, in that same house, I did get my own bedroom, but I hardly had anything. Like I hardly owned anything as a kid when I had that bedroom. It was very, very empty, and like the closet as well. And then after that bedroom, that was at mom's house. At dad's house, we were again all three boys sharing the basement, which was really more of a space and less of a room. We just kind of slept down there. We had like beds. Like it didn't look weird. It looked nice. That was peak basement, if I'm being honest. And then after that, I ended up at my. Oh wait, yeah, because I went back to my mom's house. Then I had a basement. It was a little bit more ghetto than my dad's basement. But yeah, because it was like partitioned by a curtain. I didn't have a door because it was in like the basement, but there was like a curtain, so it's like it kind of made a room, but then there was like everything was kind of weird. It was like a fully concrete basement. So it was nice to have my own space, but it was a little weird. There was a lot of bugs down there, and spider webs. And one time I saw a little mole down there. I think he was a maybe a star nose mole. I remember I recorded it and posted it on social media. I don't know if anyone saw it because no one followed me then. I mean, hardly anyone follows me now at this point. Um, so that was my mom's, and then I went back to my dad's, and then I had my own room, and it was tiny. It wasn't. It was well, actually, was it tiny? I don't know. It felt kind of tiny. Maybe I was just cramming all my stuff in there. I had a lofted bed, and I had the TV stand under that, and then I had my desk, my L desk, and I had my computer, and I had a little closet. I took the door. Was it? It didn't have doors, but it didn't want doors on it, so that was fine. Then I had a second closet, which is great for like storage. And then after that, I got the apartment, which I think you guys have seen. The first apartment, which you guys have seen kind of most of, I think. That was my previous area. I had my bed. Next to that was my desk with my computer, and I had my TV stand again. And I had a closet that was larger than that one you just saw for sure. Um, but yeah, I didn't feel too crammed in there. But now it's like, holy moly, my rooms are getting smaller and smaller at this point, which is fine. Um, it's how it goes. I'm not terribly bothered by it. If it were smaller, I might be like make throwing a fit. But honestly, I feel like it's not bad. I got my own little thing in here. Um, I was going somewhere slightly further with that, but then my train of thought died. Uh, oh yeah, my TV is not in my room anymore. And that's important, because I don't know if you guys noticed, um, but I always put I think it's right here technically. I always put the text saying weekly report right here. This should be the left side of your screen, even though I'm holding up my right hand. I think this is the left side of your screen. Anyway, so my TV was this big black square in the background, and that would look kind of weird whenever I put the text over top. So then I ended up putting it right here. Um, Now I guess I do still have a black mass here. This is my curtain. That's one thing I noticed like just 1 second ago. Was like it seems like a void, but it is my curtain, my blackout curtains, um, that are right there chilling. Um, yeah. Anyway, so I don't have my TV in here, which is like it makes my room a little bit less vibey, cause I can't like sit in bed and watch Netflix or whatever, which was like low key peak in my last room. I would use that thing. Whoop, that thing. The yellow cushion there. I would sit in my bed. I would squish that into the corner. I would squish myself into the corner, and and I'd put on Netflix, and it was awesome. Can't do that anymore. And now Ink kind of is in the living room a lot with her boyfriend. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna like watch Netflix while she's giving her boyfriend a tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the vibe for sure. But it's fine. Anyway, my room. Oh yeah, this thing. I'm sure you guys have been looking at. Hold on, holy moly! How do I? Where is that thing at? Whoop 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 beep boop. There it is. Okay, this thing. I've been meaning to talk about it the whole time. I've been looking at it, and it's been looking at me. But I'm just talking about other things. So that is a LED panel. It's programmable. Um, because for Christmas, I was like, I want LEDs for my room, but I don't just want regular, strip LEDs just on like the walls and the ceiling, whatever. That's lame. Everyone has that. I was like, I want LEDs that are a bit cooler, so I got that for Christmas. And honestly, I think that's good. I think that's exactly what I want. I want LEDs but cooler. That is a cool LED. Granted, it's just one. It doesn't cover a whole lot of area, but it is really cool. I've been messing with it kind of a little bit all day. Um, I've got it saying that up there. I won't tell you what that means, but I feel like it's not that hard to figure out. And have it saying that specifically because my coworker would write that on things around work sometimes, and I just think it's kind of funny to put it up there with the heart. But I think every episode I'm gonna change that thing up there, whoop, the LED sign, just to like something different. Like there's a lot of like eyes that are like programmed in there. So like there's presets where it's like it'll just be a little pair of LED eyes that are like looking around, and that's pretty cool. So I think that's all my room talked about out of the way. I honestly like I feel like I'm making good time, but maybe I started earlier than I thought I did. So maybe I'm actually making terrible time. But yeah, I think that's like everything in my room. That's the LED panel. I guess now it's time to talk about goals. Yeah, talk about the keychains. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't think I did any, which is okay, I guess. Um, I've been working on. Let me look at them on here. Yeah. So actually, I don't have them up. If you didn't notice, because I didn't know where exactly to put them. Now, in my previous room, they were on the wall, and you could see them, but you couldn't read them. And that was one thing that I didn't click in my brain until like a couple episodes ago. I was like, oh, you've been able to see these the whole time, but you can't read them. You would only see them once I actually take them down and they're either done or failed. So I haven't actually marked any of these up. Actually, let me do that right now. I keep my Sharpie over here on my office supply shelf. Whistle. I'm gonna put a pause on that one. Okay, so I think, and I don't know if this will upset anyone. It upsets me a little bit because it's like, oh man, lame. But I think I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna put one more pause on all the goals for this week. I think. Okay, so I didn't put a pause on them. Oh, that is the wrong symbol. What did I just draw? Okay, so I didn't put a pause on them last week just because I kind of forgot. But I think they all should get another pause just because, like, moving in. I think, like, literally today, my bedroom is 100% done. Like, everything is in place where it's supposed to be, like, where I want it. I think yeah, like I said, there's very few exceptions to that, like the hats and the Lego. So let me put pause marks on these. But yeah, I think I've got just about everything for my room. Just about everything for the apartment as well. We got that pantry, which is really nice. Oh yeah, the winter goal, whatever, workout goal. Oh, that one's still frozen. I don't need to touch that one. Oh, okay, that one's paused, that one's paused, that one's paused, that one's frozen. Hopefully for my birthday, I'm going to get some kind of beard care equipment. I talked about that. I mentioned that at Christmas in front of my family, including my parents, my dad and stepmom. Which means there's now a non-zero chance that they're going to get me some kind of beard care kit, which I would very much appreciate, but I will not ask for. And then was it my mom? I was like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about like trimming it. She was like, oh yeah, for your birthday, I'll get you a little trimmer. And I was like, okay, well, realistically, I think I'll need more than just a little trimmer. Like I said, I would like a kit, but I won't ask for it. So yeah, now I'm just hoping that I don't get multiple beard care kits, because like I'm pretty sure I only need one. But like, the way it works is like, if you're giving someone else a gift, you're not gonna say, guys, don't give this person a gift because I'm getting him this gift, so make sure you get him a different gift, right? Like that's not gonna happen. So there's a non-zero chance that I get multiple beard kits, or just one, or none at all. we'll see how it goes. If that happens, I guess I'll just buy my own. Um, let's see. The resin goal still in progress. Remember how my coworker said he would have it to me before Christmas? He didn't. Now he said he'll have it to me next time he sees me, which would be tomorrow. Um, so we'll see. I'm not holding out hope, bro. There's so many. Look at it. Each one of these little symbols is 1 week where he was working on it. Um, so that's cool, I guess. I think that's oh, that one needs another pause. No, that one has a pause. Okay. All right. Now all those have another pause. Oh, wait a minute. They need another pause because shoot. Because that was one because they had one pause because of the one time I paused them. And I put another pause on them for this week, but I never marked them up last week. I didn't, not all of them. You know, it's fine. It's not, no one actually cares, if I'm being honest. But, okay, so one thing, the goals, whoops, that's a cat. The goals do not have a place in my room yet. Because I want you to vote on where I should put them. I am asking for your input, and I would like it. Now, the thing is, I did this very intentionally during the series of being 18, and it went exactly how I thought it would, which was terrible. I was like, guys, on the series of being 18, I was like, guys, tell me your favorite color. I'm pretty sure 3 people responded. And that's the thing, is like, no one responds, like, to these. Like, my parents will usually text me, like, while they're watching these, which is nice. But there's no, like, public feedback that you see, right? There's no comments. So, guys, let me tell you, you watching, regardless of who you are or how you know me, tell me. I'm gonna make it specific, okay? I'm gonna make it a challenge. Tell me in a comment on this video where you think I should put the goals. And regardless of who you are or how you know me, if you leave a comment voting on where these should go, then you could determine where in my room these go. And if you are the only person to vote in the comments on where these should go, then that's where they're going, right? So if you say, Asher, put them on the ceiling, I'll get my double-sided tape and I'll stick them all on the ceiling and I'll pan the camera up to prove it. I talked about last week, it would be funny if I put them on the curtains, because it's totally nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense to put them on the curtains, but I could put them on the curtains because it would be funny. So like, where should I put the goals? I could put them on the wall behind me. I could put them like around the side, on the curtains. I could stick them to my bed. I could stick them under my bed. I could stick them to the shelf. Preferably somewhere on camera. But, you know, if you want to go real crazy, yeah, maybe I'll stick them to like the back of my door, right? But yeah, I am not putting the goals anywhere on camera until someone in a comment on this video tells me where to put them. Otherwise, they are going back to the place where they were before, which I forgot to show during the room tour, which is under my desk. There's a little shelf under my desk. It used to be on my desk, but now my desk has been rearranged. So the shelf on my desk is going under my desk, and that's where I keep the goals. In a little stack, which I don't know if you can tell, I'm stacking them up right now. And they're going on the shelf. Now, of course, if multiple people vote for where the goals should be posted and they conflict with each other, then I'm just gonna pick my favorite one. If multiple people pick the same spot and the majority votes there, then they'll go there. Otherwise, they're going under my desk and you'll never see them again. Not that anyone cares, but like I said, I just think it'd be fun because the reason I call it a challenge is because this is something that is fairly nuanced, right? I think in internet kind of culture. If there is a video like this video, or a channel like mine, which gets very little, you know, traffic with like views, like hardly anyone watches these. What was it like? I checked last couple reports. So 2 reports ago, 3 views. 3 reports ago had like 20 views. 4 reports ago, 40 views, or like close to that. That one was crazy. Like like I said, I think someone talked, and I think I know who it is, but I'm not sure. And I think they had like maybe shared the video somewhere somehow with people, because like there was a spike in the viewership, like it went up to like 40. And then after that it dipped down to like 20 or 30, and then after that it went way down to 3. And I'm pretty sure I know exactly who those 3 people are, but I won't call them out directly. Anyway, so yeah, this video could get 3 views and 0 comments, and if that happens, then the goals won't go anywhere. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So whenever there is a situation like this where hardly anyone watches these, right? It, for some reason, and I'm kind of like proof of this. Like if I see a video with very little views, I might watch it, but surely not going to comment on it, right? I'm not going to be like the only comment on that video. And I think that's like people are like a little afraid to be like the only comment on like what seems like an awkward video with like no views. Um, and was it like my older brother had told my dad not to comment on my videos, and I was wondering if he was thinking the same thing, where it is kind of awkward to be the only commenter on a video. But I do appreciate the comments. I talked about it a couple reports ago. A random stranger was the only comment on one of my videos. Shout out to that guy. I don't know if he's still watching. I kind of doubt it, especially because that last one got 3 views. I haven't checked the one last week, but like I said, 2 weeks ago it had 3 views. Or was it? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. So I don't know if that guy's still watching, but if the one guy that is watching, that commented, is watching again, shout out to you. And I do appreciate comments, because I don't hardly, I literally get none. I literally get none. There's been very, very few, like ink commented on a couple, um, and I appreciate that. And I always respond to them. I think I might respond to them and favorite them because like it doesn't matter because like there's no other comments. Um, but yeah, I think was it. Yeah, even if it is literally just my mom and dad commenting on every video, that might look kind of silly. That might look kind of awkward, but I appreciate it. So, mom and dad, if you are watching, you are allowed to comment. Only one comment though, okay? You can't do multiple comments. That's weird. And I will and I have deleted people who do multiple comments. That breaks internet etiquette. That's weird. Don't comment multiple times on the same thing. Was it one time a mutual friend, his girlfriend like commented on one of his posts like 5 times, and it's like, what are you doing? That's weird. Stop that. So yeah, you can comment. Only one though. I will be deleting more if you do more than one. But still, vote on this video for where the goal should go, and then that will determine where they go. Yeah. Okay, so I think now all the goals are out of the way. I guess I didn't talk about how they were in progress or not. They're all kind of paused. Is pretty much where I'm at because I was still like sorting out my room, which is now done. So I guess it's time for this. We've got 3 minutes before I need to start going to bed. Let's see. I think. Let me find the entry. I'll try and be quick about this because I do need to go to bed. Monday. Yes. I got groceries after work today and made a crazy sandwich. After that, I was going to play Helldivers, but my PC lost power because the outlet it's plugged into was bad, so I went out to Walmart and then realized that I'd have to do some electrical work to actually replace it. Ink and her boyfriend also helped and did most of the work. And then the quote is, "Thanks, guys. We only suffered a minor shock." Yeah, so, I don't know what's up with the outlets in my room. Let me think. Was it just... Okay, so most of the outlets in this apartment are stripped. I don't know if that's the right term, but whenever you plug something in, the outlet won't hold on to it very well. It will slide in super easily, and it will slide out of the outlet super easily, to the point where it's like you could just like knock... You could flick it. You could literally flick it, and it would come right out. And all the outlets in my room are like that. The one right here behind the curtain, whenever I would plug my computer in and turn the computer on, the computer would turn on for a second, and then the outlet, the breaker actually for my room would flip. The lights would go off, the computer would go off, my room's breaker would flip, and I would have no power in my room until we'd have to go flip, reset the breaker. I was like, okay, that's kind of odd. So I tried the outlet over there where it's currently plugged in, and like I said, it was too loose. It literally would not hold it. I would be playing my game just fine. I guess someone would take a step, they would maybe stomp on a stair, they would close a door, they would just jump somewhere in the apartment, in the complex at all, and then whoop, it would shift like a millimeter and then come unplugged. And like I would test, like if I just poked it in the outlet, it would shift enough, and then of course my whole computer would lose power because it's plugged into there. I was like, well, I can't do that. I need my computer. So I went out to Walmart and I got an outlet, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna unscrew the old one and I'm gonna put in the new one. I was like, wait a minute, the old one has wires in there and the new one doesn't. So I was like, if I need to replace this outlet, I'll have to work with wires, which I've never done before and is terrifying because you could get electrocuted and die. I walked in and Ink was like, oh, I know how to do that. I know how to do like electrical stuff. And she said it in a tone that implied that she would help. And then when I was like, Ink, come here, help me, she was like, I never set out to help. I was like, in my head, that's what I did. Because, like, why would you say, I know how to do electrical work? I ain't helping you, though. Like, what? That was kind of funny. But she did end up helping, and her boyfriend. And because, like, I literally had no idea what I was doing at all. And then while I was unscrewing the outlet, I felt like a tingle, like I was holding it in, I was unscrewing it, I felt like a tingle in my fingers. I was like, it almost feels like my fingers are falling asleep like my hand is, but it's definitely not. And I'm also touching this electrical outlet. And then at one point, Ink did shock herself slightly. She was, I think, pulling on a wire, and then she just went, like, quickly, like, retracted her hand. She got shocked for sure. It was funny. She ended up actually hitting her elbow on the door that was open. So I think the door hurt her more than the literal electrical shock. But that was the only time we got shocked. I think during that little thing. So thanks guys for helping me. That was great. That was Monday. Tuesday. Another nice day off for Christmas. Dad said I could have my birthday present early, so I went there first thing in the morning for that and breakfast. Once I got it, Ink helped me take it apart or take apart the old frame and then helped me build a new one a little bit. After that, I spent hours putting my room back in order, and it's so close to being 100% done. I also went back to Dad's house for dinner and to say hi to Grandpa. And the quote is cigarettes for asthmatics. Because I'm thinking, do they make cigarettes for asthmatics? I'm pretty sure that's literally impossible, and I looked it up. And I think I found one thing said that in the past, like way back in the past, they would have essentially herbal cigarettes. A cigarette, well, it wasn't. I guess it wouldn't count as a cigarette at all. It was just like medicinal herbs that you would light up and smoke if you had asthma, and they did that until modern medicine invented inhalers. Um, and that's that. Another day. Okay, so then going back to the day, yeah, my bed frame came early. Well, it didn't came early. It came right on time. My dad just ordered it before my birthday, and honestly, it makes sense to give it to me before my birthday because I've got a long time off for the holiday, and I've got time to put it together. And like, I hated that previous bed frame. Like I said, it would wobble, it would creak, it was awful. And I was like, man, I'm really gonna have to do this for 2 more weeks. And then that same morning, Dad was like, hey, you want to come pick up your bed frame? I was like, yes. Um, yeah, so I went there for breakfast, hung out at home, did my room, went back there for dinner, just like I had a grandpa. Wait, that was Friday? Wait, what the heck? Wait, whoa. That was Friday. I skipped it. I skipped Wednesday. I skipped and Thursday. Wait, hold on. Whoa. And Tuesday. Holy moly. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Tuesday. Okay, yeah. I just read Friday. But I skipped over a whole 2 pages by accident. Okay, so Tuesday. After work today, I made hot dogs, played Helldivers, practiced piano, and attempted to tidy my room a bit. But it'll probably be a mess until I get my new bed frame. And the quote is, "I'm such a peasant." Okay, so yeah, you kind of know the part where I got my bed frame. Before I didn't. It was kind of sucked. The quote, "I'm such a peasant." Like I said, I made hot dogs for dinner. While my roommate Ink and her boyfriend made like delicious chicken noodle soup. I got their leftovers like a couple days later. But I was like, man, I feel like such a bachelor for not knowing how to cook. You know what I'm saying? Um, I really should learn how to cook some more. That's where the quote "I'm such a peasant" comes from. Because I'm eating hot dogs while they're literally cooking chicken and dumplings from scratch, which is pretty impressive if I'm being honest. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Not say much about Tuesday. Wednesday, after work, I went to Dad's to wrap Christmas presents. After that, I just came home and took care of myself and reveled in the upcoming time off. I also tidied up my room, and I think this is as good as it'll get until I get my new bed frame. And the quote is, "It's beginning to look quite similar to Christmas, regardless of where you go." And that is the line, "It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas anywhere you go." Uh, Needlessly, unnecessarily elongated with synonyms to make it funny. And that's pretty much everything that happened on Wednesday. Yeah, for Christmas presents, I was gonna wrap my older sister's because was I got her for Secret Santa, so I had to get her gifts. Um, the only one I ended up wrapping that day was actually the Christmas present I got for Ink, because the one for my older sister hadn't arrived. One of them was already wrapped, and then one of them was a gift card, which I put in a gift bag instead of wrapping a gift card. That would be stupid. I also ordered her a Labubu. Pretty sure I got scammed out of that. I've only got the charge on my card to prove it, and I'm probably gonna have to dispute it because I got no follow-up email on where the Labubu is or when it will be here or anything at all. Which is kind of ridiculous because I literally made sure I was like, okay, I gotta find an official website because I know these things people are getting scammed out of Labubus pretty much. So I was like, I've got to find an official website, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is an official website. Blah blah blah. And then it just didn't show up. So I contacted customer support. They're like, "Hey, do you have like a receipt order, number order?" And I was like, "No, I don't have anything. I didn't get anything." Uh, so yeah, I'm probably gonna dispute that card. It's only like $30, which is like not the worst, but like still it's $30. Um, but yeah, that's Wednesday. Okay, so Thursday was Christmas, and there is no entry for that. Let me quickly recount what happened on Thursday. I woke up, and then shortly after that, me and Ink exchanged a couple of gifts that we got each other. And then after that, I went to Dad's for Christmas, and then we had Christmas, big breakfast, delicious food. Then we unwrapped the presents, fun presents. I got that LED strip that you see up there. And then I also got a retainer cleaner, which is really cool. I got the Funko Pops that you see in the background. Got all that from Dad's house. Also like candy and other little stuff. Yep. And then after that, I think I came home for a little bit, not for long, and then maybe just a couple hours. And then I went to my mom's house for Christmas. We had well, they had dinner. I wasn't hungry, so I just had a Red Bull because I was kind of tired. So we had dinner at mom's. A couple siblings showed up, which is cool. We got presents. Like I said, I got this keychain. I got this keychain, and then I don't know if you can see it under my bed. No, not quite. But I got a little stuffed octopus backpack, which is really cool. I don't know how often I'll actually use that because it doesn't have a whole lot of space in it, but it's still pretty awesome regardless. And then I got a couple pens. I got this pen right here, very cool pen. Candy, stuff like that. And I think that was everything from mom's. Yeah. And then after that, I came home and I played Terraria with Parkour and Rowdy. I was trying to remember their nicknames. And I stayed up until like 2 a.m. playing games with them. So that was super fun. And that was Christmas. That was Thursday. Friday, oh man, it's getting late. Yeah, I just read Friday, so I won't go over it again. Um, yeah. Saturday, yeah. Today I had a huge smoothie for breakfast while I played Helldivers, and after that I had a DIY energy drink, which is my homemade energy drink, and then me and Ink took down the blinds, got new ones, and then put them up, and now our apartment is one step closer to finished. After that I stopped by Mom's to laminate a couple things, then went on a bike ride, and then to Dad's for dinner and a movie. And the quote is more like Lord of the Memes because we watched Lord of the Rings, and if you have ever seen that or if you've been on the internet for any time at all, a lot of memes came out of the Lord of the Rings movies, which is where that quote comes from. I won't go over any of them because I don't feel like it. But yeah, there's a lot of memes, a lot of quotable, screenshots and screen caps that came out, with those movies. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much Saturday. Big old smoothie for breakfast, and I drank it like while playing Helldivers because like the blender was like almost full, so I was just sipping on that while I was playing games. And then I had my homemade energy drink, and then we did the blinds, and then I went to Mom's to laminate stuff, and it was such a nice day. Like it was warm on Christmas Eve and Christmas. It was crazy. The weather was like insane this week. Um, and I was like, well, it's a nice day, and there probably won't be many nice days. So after I laminated stuff at Mom's, I went on a bike ride, and then I was gonna go home, but on the way home, there's a accident on the highway, so traffic was super bad. So, and then Dad was like, "Hey, I'm gonna make dinner," and he sent that in the family group chat. And I was like, "Okay, that's in like half an hour, and traffic is awful right now, so there's no point in going home, so we'll just go straight to Dad's instead." And then I went there, and then I was gonna go home after dinner, and then he was like, "We should do something." I can't remember. I think he wanted to like play Corridor or something. I was like, "I don't want to play Corridor. That's not fun." So we watched the movie instead. We watched the first Lord of the Rings, not the extended version because that was 4 hours, and like the non-extended is 3 hours, which is a lot for a movie anyway. But it was a good movie too. That was Saturday, and now we're on today. I really need to wrap this up. Today, what happened? Okay, so I did stay up super late yesterday. Was it to be exact? 12:37 a.m. Okay, not as late as I thought. But I stayed up late yesterday. Yeah, I couldn't actually sleep last night, which was weird because I was like, I wanted to go to sleep and I was tired, but for some reason I just couldn't. So I think I fell asleep at probably like 2 a.m. And then I woke up at like 11 a.m. So I slept for about 9 hours. Totally slept through church, which I hadn't planned on going to, but totally slept through it. So what can you do at that point? Um, Was it? So then I think I wanted to have a smoothie for breakfast, and I was like, no, I had a smoothie for breakfast yesterday, so like maybe not. Um, so what? I think I had overnight oats, and then that was not enough. My stomach was angry. It was like, grr, I didn't have enough breakfast. I was like, well, shoot, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I had planned on going to the library to print a couple things because for some reason both my parents' printers had run out of ink. Had run out of ink. Um, I was like, well, I guess I'll have to go to the library to print a couple things because I need to get something. I need one other document, I think, to upgrade my ID to the 21 version. And then I need to print off a shipping label because I accidentally ordered extra shower filters and I need to ship them back for a refund because they were $140. That's a long story, but I'll get my money back. Believe you me, I've got that label printed now. What was it? So I went to Dad's for a waffle, and I was hungry, but I don't know, something with my stomach problem happened, and I only ate like 3/4 of the waffle. And then I did end up printing off that document, and then promptly threw it away because I had to fill it out. I thought it would have printed filled out like it did in the picture, like it showed in the picture, and then it didn't. I was like, well, I could fill it out, but like my handwriting is terrible, and I can't write the letters that small. So I'm just gonna get another document, or maybe just walk in there without a document and see how it goes. Um, and then I printed off the shipping label to return that. It wouldn't print. Okay, I tried so hard to get it to print, but it wouldn't until I just took a screenshot of the file, the PDF file, and then printed the screenshot. So I really hope that works. I'm gonna find out tomorrow once I go into work and literally just try and ship it. Um, I'm gonna bring it to the shipping department. They're gonna ship it for me, hopefully. Okay, so that was breakfast. Got the. I think then I came back. I had some caffeine and I played some Helldivers, and I think I did my room a little more. On the bottom shelf, right there, along the bottom shelf is the stuff that I laminated. Um, that's where that went. I think. What else did I do after that? Like earlier today? Don't think I did much. Oh no, I remember. Okay, so was I came home after the printing. Okay, and then I had the caffeine. I played Helldivers. And then Ink and her boyfriend got home. And then I went to test out the gym facility. Not bad. Um, it's got some decent equipment. I usually do calisthenic stuff, which requires minimal equipment. So I did get my full workout in, but the way the pull-up bar is set up is it's not great for pull-ups because it's got two bars that go out like this, and then it's got right, and then it's got two bars that go out like this, right? So if you try and actually, regardless of whether you use these bars to do a pull-up like this or these bars to do a pull-up like this, your shoulders end up hitting the bars that are like this. So I can't quite do like a full pull up because my shoulders end up hitting the bars, whether I do a chin up or a pull up. So that's it's not the best. Then they didn't have a Bosu ball, which is what I usually do. What are they called? Squats, split squats. No, not split squats. Pistol squats. So I just kind of did those. I just did those with a 20-pound weight kettlebell. It wasn't too bad. Um, and then they didn't have a tricep dip bar, so I just did like chair dips. They did have treadmills, and I was like, okay, I could probably do a tricep dip on these treadmills, but I'm afraid I'll break them, so I didn't do that. And then yeah, I did push-ups and incline just fine, planks. I think that was all for the workout, just my usual calisthenic stuff. I couldn't do one of the core exercises that I usually do because that one uses a bar. But like I said, not only do those pull-up bars have a bit of a problem, they're not very high off the ground, just a bit over 6 feet. And if you guys recall, I am 6 feet tall. So normally at like a full gym, I'm reaching actually way up here, as high as I can reach to get to the pull-up bar. But it's more like right here for the one at my apartment complex gym. So usually what I do is I would do leg lifts. I would do like start here and then end up like up here or maybe here. Couldn't do that because my if I hang from the pull-up bar, my knees are pretty close to the ground, right? So I can't do a leg lift from here to here because whenever I have to go down, I hit the floor. So I couldn't do that. I think other than that, the facilities weren't bad. It was completely empty, which was nice. I just put on a podcast while I was doing my workout, and that was great. After that, came home, drank some water, showered, made a smoothie, practiced piano. And I think now I'm here. Well, um, yeah, I really, really should. I've still been thinking about that whole thing with like, college, where my life is going. Um, and I would love to talk about that, but I think it's about time for me to go. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next week. Bye.